Hi, everyone, and welcome in to Joshing Around Milwaukee. My name is Josh Albrecht, and with me, as always, is...
Hey, it's Josh Albrecht.
That's right, Josh Albrecht, and we are here to tell you about all the wonderful and amazing things we have here in the city of Milwaukee, and we're very, very grateful and thankful for our guest today, Gary Witt from the Pabst Theater Group, President and CEO. Gary, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you very much for having me on. I'm excited.
So, obviously, President and CEO is a pretty good way of describing what you're doing with the Pabst Theater Group. But why don't you tell us a little bit about how you got there and what the day-to-day is for you with the Pabst Theater Group?
So it's an interesting story because I was sitting in my basement working from home at that time, and I got a call from this guy named Michael Cudahy, and I really didn't have any idea who he was because I'm not from Milwaukee. So he told me these stories about wanting to book a band at his home. And at the end of his conversation, because I was managing an artist at the time, at the end of his conversation, he said, and I bought this theater for $1 and I have no idea what to do with it. So that actually began the process back in 2002 of my wife and I moving to Milwaukee, kind of embracing all things about Milwaukee, learning about Milwaukee. Listening to TMJ was one of the ways that I learned about Milwaukee. Watching morning news, reading the Journal Sentinel, all those things helped me to embrace and adapt to Milwaukee. The first year in business, we did 58 shows in our one venue, about $308,000, and I think we did 800 shows last year in 6 venues in Milwaukee, ranging from 450 at Vivarium, our smallest and newest venue, 1,000 at Turner Hall Ballroom, right across from Fiserv, 1,350 at the beautiful National Historic Landmark, the Pabst Theater. 2,480 at the beautiful Riverside Theater that hosts all these incredibly large, incredible, beautiful artists that come to our city, and then 4,000 at High Life Theater, which we absolutely love, the capacity and the ability to bring artists there like Jerry Seinfeld or Ringo Starr or things like that.
Yeah, it's such a great mix of acts that you bring to the city, which is what I love. It's everything from comedy shows, like you said, to hard rock, classic rock, book tours, all kinds of stuff come through the venues, which is a real delight for the city and a great calling card for people to come and visit the city. Obviously, Visit Milwaukee, we're about bringing people in. Back in 2002, did you see it as a way to bring people to the city, or at that time, or is it just like, let's just produce the best shows we can make?
So I had a real awakening when I met Beth Weirick, who ran the Downtown Bid until just recently and really successfully awakened within me and understanding that the things that I was doing were not solely about selling tickets. It really gave us the inspiration at the beginning of our business that Beth taught us, along with the Responsible Hospitality Institute, that our mission was about developing community, and it wasn't about selling tickets. Kind of like anybody could sell tickets. Book a Billy Joel show, you'll sell Billy Joel out. But the idea in Milwaukee was taking these smaller venues that were unused and using them as tools to be able to help not just to sell tickets to the show, but to develop a community of people that you can speak to. So beginning, my partner Matt Berenger and I sat down. I still remember the very moment we sent out our first email to begin the process of developing our e-member database. And from that day till now, we now have 500,000 e-members. We send out 169 million e-members emails a year. And we have a direct communication conversation with the people who come to our shows. More importantly, the people who come to our shows, the things that we've learned over the years, the people who come to our shows actually play a tremendous role in formulating where we are now in the city and how we can grow and develop to be other things. When I first moved here in 2002, there were not many residences downtown. Specifically, there were mostly old buildings. Since that day, I think if you ask people like Barry Mandel, they would tell you that the things that we did in our venues helped them to be able to make decisions, to be able to develop things downtown. Mm-hmm. So look, I would accredit the work that we do and the work that the Rave does and Summerfest and others with giving developers the idea to do more downtown, with build more hotels downtown, and also with for corporations to make the decision to move here and put their corporate offices here because their employees can have things to do. I mean, I consider what our business is to be equally as important as a winning sports team as far as giving a city a soul and identity. Our business alone, as the Pabst Theater Group develops or adds to about $275 million a year to the city's economy in restaurants, bars, coffee shops, car rentals, and things like that.
Absolutely. I mean, you just think about in general when you hear that your favorite band, you're a comedian, and they say new tour, and you immediately go and you're looking and you're like, Milwaukee, 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 Milwaukee. Ah, there it is. Okay, they're coming. And, seeing that is obviously, it's great for us that are local and feel that, but it is also making everyone else that's looking for their city saying, oh, they're going to be in Milwaukee too. So to your point of, it does really help put Milwaukee on the map and bring in people that are gonna recognize, hey, Milwaukee can host these people too. I absolutely love it and appreciate the fact that the Pabst Theater Group has been a way to not only make business for the city but put it on the map in a lot of ways. It's been great.
Look, I think that's one of the great things about our relationship with Visit and, with Josh in particular. Josh has been really tremendous to work with from the beginning of time that he came to town.
It's the first I've ever heard. I was going to say, what this
double
this
Josh,
guy,
Josh squared.
I know.
No, he's been tremendous to work with because, look, I'm going to be honest. I'm the voice of honesty. Visit wasn't always the greatest group to work with in my 23 years of doing this. And really, Josh and the team coming in here have been a tremendous added value to us because I think that he and they actually really understand that we are kind of a part of modern day Convention and Visitors Bureau activity. 29% of our buyers come from 90 miles away or further. If we look at the buyers that come from below the state line in Illinois, in the northwest suburbs of Chicago, I mean, look, for us, the northwest suburbs of Chicago are a suburb of Milwaukee. Chicago may think of Milwaukee as a suburb of, Milwaukee is a suburb of Chicago, but in reality, all those northwest suburbs in Chicago spend an easy 80 minutes driving up to Milwaukee, where they would spend an equal amount of time fighting traffic to get downtown Chicago, paying high parking prices, paying tremendous hotel prices or restaurant prices. They're amazingly surprised when they come to Milwaukee and they find our incredible restaurant scene. They find out how affordable it is to park here in comparison to Chicago. If they stay overnight, they can stay overnight at the Pfister for what it costs them to stay in the Days Inn on Orleans, where they're battling roaches for the bar of soap in the bathroom.
Sure. Well, and there have been many ways where your story's been told and featured as it should be, and we're going to talk about one of those ways when we come back on Joshing Around Milwaukee. Back, everyone, to Joshing Around Milwaukee. We are having a great time with our guest today, Gary Witt from the Pabst Theater Group. You can have a great time at the Potawatomi Hotel Casino. Up for a game? Potawatomi Sportsbook is right there with you for all international games and matches. The Midwest's best sportsbook opens early. Place your bets, kick back, and enjoy the show on an absolutely enormous video wall. Then grab a cold one along with food from a menu packed with flavor. Place your bets, kick back, have fun. Not up for watching the game, but still want in on the action? You can wager on any sport, anytime at quick service kiosks as well. Bet above the rest at Potawatomi Sportsbook.
All right, so we're coming back with Gary Witt of the Pabst Theater Group. And Gary, one of the things I wanted to talk about right now is how you and the Pabst Theater Group were instrumental in the creation of the Milwaukee Theater District alongside all of our other theater partners throughout the downtown core. Visit Milwaukee, Bid 21, who we mentioned, Marcus Hotel Group, others who helped make that happen. But you were one of the early champions of creating that district, the theater district. Why was that so important to you as going into not just the vibrancy of the theater district, but the businesses around too that benefit from the theater district?
Yeah, so we had oddly enough, we had a very positive experience during the pandemic in what was a pretty dark time. I like to think that there's always an upside of down in that when all was lost, all independent venues across America, there were 4 or 5 of us that banded together to begin something that eventually was called NIVA, which is the National Independent Venue Association. I hired a lobbying firm called Aiken Gump in D.C., and the group, which eventually evolved and grew into 3,500 members, eventually got $16 billion with a B dollars from the federal government. That actually saved our entire industry. My takeaway from that, other than the fact that we can do anything if we believe in it, was the fact that we were better together than we are alone. So often when we have issues or problems in an industry, and Milwaukee is loaded with those kinds of problems, we tend to put our head down and work on those alone. And I think that, look, I think I'm a huge believer in what nighttime hospitality contributes to the city of Milwaukee. And I think that this, for me, was why I really believed in what everyone came to us, and you guys and the Marcus folks came to us with the ideas of the theater district, especially because that really told me that these other groups that didn't have as strong or the ability to market and to tell their story, if we told that story together, it magnifies and grows the idea that what a great experience it is to come downtown, because Milwaukee will always need to work harder. One of the reasons that we, I think, are successful is that at the Pabst Theater Group, we always feel like it's harder to do what you do in Milwaukee than it is to do it in some other cities. We have to fight harder. And that's not a negative. It's not something to criticize me saying that. The reality is that because of that, almost everything that you find groups do, whether it be restaurants or concert venues, what the things that we do in the city end up being better than most other cities, because we have to work harder to actually get it recognized and to make it successful. So we kind of kick the asses of a lot of other cities and what we do in many other levels. And I think that the theater group is a really good example of that, and that there are great things happening downtown by combining some of the things that are happening in some of the smaller theaters, some of the nonprofits, along with the efforts that, think groups like ours do. It magnifies the message. And hopefully what that really does is it puts a focus on the amazing, incredible experience that coming to downtown Milwaukee is.
Yeah, the theater district is a great way for that collective voice, right? Like we're all speaking together, speaking the same language out to the world, amplifying our messages collectively so that each benefits individually. And I think that's a great way of going about it. And then we found out some really cool stats. Like we have more seats per capita than any other city in the entire United States for theater. And people don't think of Milwaukee for theater. Whether that's,
they do now.
Whether that's live performance, concerts, comedians, Broadway shows, whatever it is, our symphony, all those seats combined, we have the powerhouse to match any city in the country, and now it's making people know that, and we do that with our collective voice, and then having NEVA come. So because of what you've done with NEVA, they even hosted their annual conference here, and we have that buy-in, and now people in the industry are really seeing it because they've experienced it firsthand through that conference.
Yeah, it was such a great experience. First of all, being one of the founders of NEVA, and then, when the time came to be able to consider new locations for the NEVA conference, our partnership with Visit was so incredible. You guys worked so hard to make the city be a positive for NEVA to embrace, and thankfully they did, and we were able to make it happen. Josh and I were in New Orleans. And kind of embracing with a great video that we put together that featured everyone from Justin Vernon from Bon Iver to Alice Cooper to Jim Gaffigan, who just loves telling stories about the great city of Milwaukee, especially since he chose a woman from Milwaukee to marry.
Yep.
That he had to find a woman from Milwaukee to marry, and he chose a woman. So anyway, it was a wonderful experience, and I guess it also shows that I think Visit has really evolved kind of into a powerhouse that if you combine your efforts for groups like ours, or the theater district to work together, you become that fulcrum that brings those groups together, and we can amplify what's great about the city of Milwaukee.
I love the amount of celebrities who helped bring NEVA to Milwaukee with their championing it, just being a champion for the city. But also that's a testament to the Pabst Theater Group, because a lot of them came through your doors and the hospitality that they receive when they're in the city, right? And that's a calling card for our city. I know that's a calling card for Pabst Theater Group and all the venues you host is pure hospitality. The people have a great time when they're here, good food, good experiences, and they're going to want to talk about it, and they're going to want to come back and then tell others to come along with them.
I'd also like to think that it was really the Milverine that actually made it all happen.
There it is.
Featuring the shirtless Milverine walking the streets of Milwaukee and using him as a tool to show off the lakefront. I mean, because look, every video that we create, I look at it through the same lens as Josh does, which is that Milwaukee is quite often an unknown to people. They know Milwaukee because of Harley, Miller, and cheese. And it's our opportunity to say, no, man, we have a lakefront. No, man, we have an amazing restaurant scene. Those are important things for us to be able to do. No, man, we have a river walk. All those things are really important for us to do overall.
No,
to
man,
sell
we
the
have a
city.
lot of really great concert venues.
Yeah,
You know?
we do have that. Yes, we do.
And speaking of those, there are some shows coming up, and I want to pick your brain. I want to find out some of the acts that are coming up that you're most looking forward to, and maybe some that, going back in time that you've really enjoyed as well. And we are going to do that when we come back on Joshing Around Milwaukee. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone, to Joshing Around Milwaukee. Having a great time talking with Gary Witt, President and CEO of the Pabst Theater Group. Tons of acts coming into all the different venues from Josh, as you mentioned, does comedy, music, you name it. And we're very excited. You're very excited. I don't know why you wouldn't be. Talk about the Widespread Panic Weekend coming up at the end of October. What's that all about?
So what that's all about is that's really the evolution of Milwaukee getting great national exposure, truly the business that we're in, where you're not just promoting concerts, but you're actually delivering people to the city. People come from 49 different states. The show sells out in under 5 minutes. People come from 49 different states to see Widespread Panic. And throughout the message boards of the fans and throughout communication with the band online, basically fans and the band have decided that there are two places in America they love to play, and that's Red Rocks. Who can deny why you'd want to play at Red Rocks?
Sure, of course.
The greatest, weirdest mountain, beautiful live experience. It's Red Rocks and the Riverside Theater. And I'm saying that with all seriousness. We've heard that from fans as well as the band. And I think that's it's a real testament to the fact that it's not just that we book the show or that we host a show or that we have a street party all 3 days where people are out in the streets. There's live bands and beer and food. It's also the fact that this is important. The city satisfies those people. People come here, they have a great experience at hotels. A lot of those people stay at the Hilton. They love the Hilton. They'll love it even more with the renovations. And they have a great experience, not just visiting the area around the Riverside, but they explore. We send them out with a list. They explore Bayview. They explore, Bronzeville. They explore River West. They explore Brady Street. They go to the lakefront. They really see the city. So I think it's just a tremendous opportunity for people to be able to experience the city. So we love the Widespread Panic shows. It's such a great experience. I would encourage everybody, if you either were smart enough to be able to buy tickets in those 4 minutes, please don't buy them from a secondary market because it's the worst thing in the universe for our business. It's killing our business to have some guy in his SpongeBob underwear maxing out his credit card to buy a bunch of tickets to a show in Schenectady and then selling them for 10x what they're worth. Don't do that.
Sure.
Become an member of the Pabst Theater Group
that
and buy them directly from us.
Pre-sale,
Or you could join the newly formed Concierge Club that we just started, where you'll have your own specialized box office person who you can speak to on every pre-sale that we do to guarantee you the best seats in the house and to thwart, like Batman, like Superman, like Captain Marvel, like Iron Man, to vanquish the souls and the hearts of the evil secondary market scalpers.
I can't think of a better way to
Sign
say
me
it.
up twice. Like this. Yeah.
And we have some cool
fantastic.
shows coming up now. So coming up now, we do everything. Look, 30% of our business is comedy. We host a ton of great comedy shows, but we do every bit of every kind of our music in as many of the venues as we can as possible. So coming up soon is the Temptations and the Four Tops at High Life on the 18th of October, which will be an amazing show. I listen to a ton of 60s and 70s Motown stuff I love. It's great workout music. There's this band, I don't know if you heard of them, they're called the Violent Femmes. They might be the greatest band in Milwaukee history, in Wisconsin history. They're coming for 2 nights at the Riverside Theater. First night sold out, the 18th, and the 19th is Sunday. There's some tickets. Actually, there's some good tickets we just opened up that are available. But that's the show not to miss. Incredibly legendary Herbie Hancock coming to the Pabst Theater on the 21st of October. Herbie's absolutely brilliant. And these are people who are 70s and 80s. You really need to see them because there will be never another Herbie Hancock. Jeff Tweedy from Wilco coming to the Pabst on November 5th. Totally a great show. Jeff just released a 30-song album that is absolutely getting incredible reviews, including this amazing song called Lou Reed Was My Babysitter. You should come and see Jeff Tweedy of Wilco at the Pabst on the 5th. And then, of course, we host Cirque du Soleil at High Life. So we're hosting a bunch of shows with Cirque du Soleil. 11/26 through 30. Those are shows you should see. And I would end this by saying, besides Widespread Panic, you have to come and see The Christmas Carol at the Rep this year. If you haven't seen it before, if you have seen it before, you need to see it this year because the Rep endured the incredible pain of what happened to them during the flooding that we had recently. And they lost $7 million of equipment, including the entire Christmas Carol set in the flooding that they had in Wauwatosa. So they are fighting to bring this thing back. They're working day and night. They're having to go to incredible expenditures to put this entire set back together, having a company in Canada who they've only found who could build it as quickly as possible. This is a time this year. Forget about I saw it last year, 2 years ago, or whatever. Like, you need to see The Christmas Carol this year because it exemplifies everything the Christmas Carol is about, which is that they realize this is the heart and soul of the holidays in the city, and they're doing everything possible to make it happen. So I would definitely compliment Mark and Chad at the Rep for making this come true because it truly is a Milwaukee treasure annually. Yeah. And really, it's one of those reasons why some people get down and see the beautiful National Historic Landmark of the Pabst Theater.
It's about tradition like that, whether it's the Christmas Carol or, even Cirque du Soleil now has become a little tradition year over year. And it's going to be a great way for people to kick off the holiday season this year. The Widespread Panic shows, those are traditional, right?
Yep.
It's like it's part of that setting culture in the city is those touch points that throughout the year. Yep. I do think the holidays are a magnificent time to go see any show, right? So any show, there's always magic in the air, seeing a show during the holiday season. And we set it up perfectly for that, but also a great gift. I think experience is a great gift. So I always encourage people to buy tickets to shows for gifts, and I always encourage my family to buy me tickets to shows. Don't give me another tchotchke thing.
I would encourage people
tickets.
to buy a concierge club membership for Josh,
there you
so
go.
that he can gain access to a private box office manager who will guarantee him the best seats and take those tickets out of the hands of those Weasley scalpers who hoover up tickets. No, who Dyson up tickets. Not Hoover doesn't exist anymore, really. Dyson, who Dyson up tickets like a vacuum.
That's right. Don't be a Scrooge.
Yes.
Come on,
I was
keep
like,
up your Christmas Carol.
No, I was trying. Were you trying to rhyme this? Get a jingle out of this?
Yeah.
And if they wanted to get the concierge service or find out, because you named about 1/70th of all the shows that are coming up soon, what's the best way for people to get more information? Where should they go?
Well, hopefully they're all just e-members already in Milwaukee, so that would be good. But no, they should go to pabsttheatergroup.com.
We are glad that you joined us today and came on Joshing Around Milwaukee and shared the story and told us what we should look forward to with the Pabst Theater Group. We appreciate it. Thanks for joining us, Gary.
Thanks for having me, and more importantly, thanks for promoting the city of Milwaukee. It always has the opportunity to get better and to be better and to find more people to experience it. Go out and eat at a restaurant someplace, people.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Joshing Around Milwaukee. As always, for more information, go to visitmilwaukee.org. All right, everyone, thanks so much for joining us for this episode of Joshing Around Milwaukee. If you're seeing this segment, it's because you were tuning in or watching on one of Visit Milwaukee's social media channels, and we really do appreciate that. We're having a great time with Gary Witt from the Pabst Theater Group. Gary, thanks so much for being with us. This is the segment of the show where the other Josh Albrecht asks his patent question. Josh, take it away.
Yeah, Gary, we obviously Visit Milwaukee is always promoting the city, talking about all the cool, fun, new things to do and all the old traditional things to do. What we say, though, is that there's a lot going on right now. We like to call that fresh city vibes. What's giving you fresh city vibes right now?
So fresh city vibes for me are really the really incredible restaurant vibe and scene that's happening in Milwaukee right now. I find myself landing in restaurants, whether it be Loopy and Iris, or whether it be Good Kind, or whether it be Birch, or whether it be going to the 3rd Street Market and sucking down some wings. Like, there's so much great stuff happening in the restaurant world. Look, so what I'm saying is maybe you just need to get out, go to a show, have one, or a restaurant, have that one beer that might give you the courage to meet that person across the room. And maybe 5 years from now, we're talking about how you need to get a babysitter to be able to come and see a show. So go out to restaurants in Milwaukee because they're incredible. They are really incredible. At all levels, we now service at all levels, from lower prices and fast casual to medium priced up to like really great,
great fine
restaurants.
dining.
When I came here in Milwaukee, beyond really the Bartolotta Restaurant Group, there really wasn't much here. And one of the things I'm proudest about our city is that we now fight at that same level as bigger cities than us, and we're able to provide a really great experience for people. I've had so many great experiences at Good Kind, just sitting at the bar, watching Katie and her team work and buying a round of High Lifes for the kitchen while you eat a great dinner there, to being surprised by the wildly intelligent servers at Loopy or at Birch who know their food inside and out, and who can give you tremendous guidance on food and wines to match. So our city can fight at any level with any other city in restaurants. So my go-to in this answer is get out there, get off your couch, bring your phone with, make a reservation, and go to a restaurant in the city of Milwaukee. And maybe you want to come and see a show afterwards.
There you go.
And absolutely. Listen, I've always really appreciated just what the Pabst Theater Group does from a comedy standpoint. I love comedy, and just so many different, comedians coming in through Milwaukee has been awesome. And I've already, when you said about getting a babysitter, I'm already working on a babysitter for February for the Steve Martin Short show. And I can't wait for that. All right. Literally, when that was announced, I was like, okay, date night. It's happening. We have a 1-year-old at home. And I was like, I'm working on it now. Like, I've got some time. I'm going to that show. And I'm just, we're just thankful that can happen here. It doesn't have to be to where we have to travel to Chicago or somewhere else to see that. We're bringing those acts into Milwaukee thanks to you guys at the Pabst Theater Group. So I appreciate it. And it's huge for the city. And I agree with you. Go out, see a show, laugh a little, enjoy life. It's short. Enjoy it.
Yeah, look, your choices that you make in what you purchase impact everything around you. If you want a great city, then get out and participate and be a part of the city. And go out, get into West Allis too. Go to Tompkins, get some wings in West Allis. But everything around us, your choices that you make are what actually make the city. You play a role in defining what the city is. That's the amazing thing about especially the restaurant and nighttime hospitality world, is that nighttime hospitality does not understand the power that it has. Again, because based on our earlier discussion, they spend way too much time with their head down working individually. And the collective of nighttime hospitality, all the bars, all the restaurants, all the coffee shops, because nobody goes home from a trip and takes a picture of the Northwest Mutual Tower. Sorry, Northwest Mutual, nice glass though. But everyone comes back and they send back pictures of what their dessert looked like, or what that beer they had, or that special NA cocktail, or the live show that they went to go see. So nighttime hospitality plays a tremendous role in defining the soul and identity of the city, and everyone should pay attention to that and give it a bit more respect.
I love it. Well, thank you so much, Gary, for joining us on this episode of Joshing Around Milwaukee, and we'll see you at a show very soon.
That sounds good. Thank you, guys. Thanks, Josh.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Josh.
Thank you
Thanks,
so
Josh.
much for
Thanks,
joining
Josh.
us here on Joshing Around Milwaukee. As we mentioned before, and always for more information, go to visitmilwaukee.org. See you next time.